Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to have a chat about arranged marriages, simply because I'm Indian and arranged marriages are very common in my culture, and I think my thoughts on arranged marriages have changed from when I was younger to what I think about them now. My thoughts have changed now because one, I'm older and I'm also out of the closet, so I think those two factors have changed some opinions on arranged marriages that I may have had when I was younger. And I just wanted to sit down and discuss with you guys because I know a lot of people that watch me are Indian and they too are somehow part of the LGBT community, and maybe you guys have also had thoughts about this topic. So I just wanted to sit down and discuss them with you guys. One thing that I have changed since the last time you saw me is my hair. It's no longer long. It's not long anymore. It's short. I cut it short. I cut it in November and I got it cut to my mid-neck. So it has grown a little bit since I got it cut, and when I first got it cut, I loved it. I thought it was the best thing ever. I was like, wow, this might be my new look. But then I would see myself in photos and videos and I would be like, oh, it's not as cute as I wanted it to look, and it was kind of teetering on the side of Dora the Explorer. And she's fine, don't get me wrong, but not exactly who I want to look like. So I was like, okay. And now I'm back on the wanting to grow it out. Do I regret cutting it though? No, because I wanted to do it in the moment and I did it in the moment and I loved it when I first got it cut. Now I'm just kind of like, ugh, just be long again, please. And also it's at that awkward length where it's right at my neck. Not my neck, what is this? My shoulders. It's right in the little divot between, it's here. So it's just, first of all, the ends curl out every time I move my shoulders. Secondly, I can't do a ponytail higher than mid-head, otherwise pieces fall out. But then if I do a low ponytail, collect the back pieces, then these front pieces fall out. It's just a bit annoying. I'm at the annoying stage of my hair. I think once it grows out a little bit more, it'll be good. I think I'll be okay with it again. But this is just an annoying length. Also, I'm trying to get a little bit more consistent with my uploading schedule, mainly because, god damn it, it's hard to come up with things to film. And I get nervous and I get really anxious about filming things and uploading things, and it throws me into a bit of a whirl. So if you guys ever have any types of videos or topics that you'd want me to discuss, leave it in the comments below, please. That would help me out so much. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try and be a little bit more consistent with my videos. And I am so sorry for all the inconsistency with my videos. It's terrible, I know. But yeah, consistency is something I want to bring to my life in all aspects of my life. So yeah, that is something I want to work on. After that hugely long intro, I actually want to talk in this video about arranged marriages. So if you guys don't know, arranged marriages are literally marriages that are arranged by parents usually. So the groom's parents and the bride's parents will agree to the marriage and the couple will just get married. It's a very common thing to do in India. My parents are actually an arranged marriage, and I knew about the concept of arranged marriage very, very young because, well, my parents were arranged, and also my mom used to tell me stories about the whole arranged marriage process and stuff, and I used to find it so fascinating. She told me that my dad was literally the first guy she met. Her dad really liked him, so she was like, okay, if my dad likes him, then he's fine. I'll go with him. And that's literally how it went. She just said yes to the first guy, and I was like, I don't think I'd ever do that. If I was in her position, I would have at least scoped my options out a little bit more. And then if my dad and mum didn't like anyone else, then I might go back to the first choice, but I wouldn't just be like, yeah, I'll take the first choice without seeing anyone else. Maybe that's just the indecisive side of me, but I don't think I could settle on the first guy. But she was okay with it. She was like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. Let's go with the first guy. So that's what she did. And then they got married and then had me 2 years later, and then had my brother 7 years after me. A big age gap, I know. Anyways, so because I grew up hearing about arranged marriages, even not just my parents, even all like my aunties and uncles and people in our family friend circle are mostly all arranged except for like maybe one love marriage. I think all the others are arranged. And that too, the couple who was a love marriage are comparatively younger than the couples who were arranged, if that makes sense. So I grew up around arranged marriage couples, you know, it wasn't an odd thing. In fact, I remember telling my friends that like, oh, my parents were arranged and this, like my uncles and aunties are usually arranged, and they used to find it so odd. And I was like, is it that odd? I don't know. Anyways, because I grew up around it and I was very aware of it, I used to think that it was just going to be an inevitable process for me, that at some point I will wake up in the morning and my parents will be like, beta shadi, you know, and be like, here's a list of guys, pick from them, get married, live your life. And that's not to say that my parents forced me to do anything. They never forced me to do anything. But I don't know, somewhere I was like, maybe they'll just be like, you have to get arranged. Don't know why I had that thought, but that was a thought I had. My mum was never like, oh, you have to be arranged marriage. You can be in a love marriage if you find the right person. But that being said, she did have a guy in mind for me. So the guy she had in mind was the son of one of her high school friends. So she used to, like, they reconnected and she spoke to him, and like, you know, they found out that, oh, he has a son, and obviously my mum has a daughter, and currently that family is in the US, and you know, his son's doing good. He's very like athletic, he's very good in his studies and very just like top of the class in everything he does. And my mom was like, oh, that's perfect. You know, like, save him if he's like completely single and alone. Just hold on. If my daughter is also completely single and alone, we can come to America and we will get them to like chat and get the wheels turning. And then after I came out, she was like, oh, never mind, scratch that plan, she's not into men. So she texted her friend and was like, never mind, you must have seen Ananya's video, she's not gay, she's not straight, so she's not into men, sorry, maybe they can be friends. And I just found that so hilarious that she had a guy like planned in case. But that didn't necessarily mean that she was like, oh, she's gonna get an arranged marriage, but she had the option, you know, she had a really nice guy like planned, set. And I was like, oh, if I was straight, I might have opted that offer, but I'm not, so I'm not opting for that offer. I'm sure he's a great guy, I don't want to marry a guy, full stop. So maybe we can be friends. Maybe we can be friends with each other. I remember when I was younger, I used to tell my friends at school that, you know, I'll probably have an arranged marriage when I'm older, because prior to coming out, I knew that I didn't think I would ever fall in love with a guy. And this was like before me coming out and coming to terms with my sexuality. But I was like, I don't think I'll ever fall in love with a guy. So I was like, who cares if it's an arranged marriage? It will probably just, like, there won't be any love there, so it doesn't need to be a love marriage. It could be arranged. And this was a thought I had. So I used to tell my friends that, you know, maybe I'll have an arranged marriage, and they used to find that the craziest thing ever. They were like, really? So you're just gonna let your parents pick? And it's like, Well, first of all, yeah, I trust my parents, and my parents know me very well. They can pick a suitable person for me if I wanted them to. And B, I knew I wasn't gonna like fall in love with a guy, so I was like, yeah, what difference does it make? It's not like gonna be in love with them or anything. And they just found it so absurd, because at least in Western culture, arranged marriage is not really a thing. I remember when TV shows like MAFS first came out, which, if you don't know what MAFS stands for, it's a show here in Australia called Married at First Sight. And the whole basis is that these couples get picked by psychologists according to personality, and they get put together according to what these psychologists thinks. Like they're put together. Oh my god, English is a very difficult language sometimes. The psychologists pair these couples together based on who they think is most compatible with who, most compatible according to psychologists get paired together. The whole concept of that show is based on like arranged marriages, and they obviously dramatize it a lot, but the idea is that they meet for the first time on their wedding day, like at the altar essentially is when they first meet. It's a good show, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy, like, my guilty pleasure is reality, like romance / dating shows. So you bet I'm all up in MAFS, I'm all up in The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Love Island, all of those shows. I love them. I love trash TV. Love it. So I obviously watch MAFS, and I remember when it first came out, I was like, why is this so shocking? This is such a common thing that happens in Indian culture, but you make it westernized, and now it's like a crazy, huge, crazy thing. And I think obviously they dramatize it a lot, but I just found that really funny. I was like, this is something that's been happening for centuries in my culture, but now here they make a TV show about it. Odd. But that's not to say it's a bad TV show. It's really interesting, lots of drama. But yeah, I think Married at First Sight would only have been more accurate if the parents were choosing who the marriage was happening to, how a traditional arranged marriage happens. Because, I mean, let's be real, we don't have like a panel of psychologists analyzing my behavior and, my personality and comparing it to someone else's and making sure we're compatible. That's not a thing. We go by astrology and caste system and things like that. That's what Indians usually go by. And a lot of times, if everything checks out, the parents are like, you're good to get married. The kids are like, okay, fine, I guess I'll get married. And that's usually how that works. But yeah, that being said, it's not like arranged marriage is bound to fail. In fact, I've noticed a lot of the couples around me who are arranged tend to have, I don't know if I would call it good relationships, because again, I don't know the behind the scenes of anyone's relationships, but they all tend to be going strong, essentially, is the best way I can put it. I mean, the only couple I can really look at and talk about is my parents, because I live with them. I know what they're like in front of people. I know what they're like at home. Would I say my parents have the bestest relationship ever in the whole wide world? No. Do I think maybe their relationship could have been, like, maybe they would have been happier if they weren't in arranged marriage? Maybe. Again, I can't really say, but yeah, they're not like the best, most happiest couple, if that makes sense. I feel like arranged marriage can go both ways. You can have some couples who start off and like they're obviously really new and they like build and they start loving each other while in the relationship, and then they have a really happy marriage. Or you can have the couples kind of more like my parents, who are such opposites that it's kind of just, from day one, it's just been like, personality-wise, I'm like, these guys don't get along personality-wise. And from day one, it's just been getting weirder and weirder and weirder as the years progress. But yeah, that's what I mean, like it can go two ways, one of two ways, and I just find that really interesting. With that being said, do I think arranged marriage in a nutshell is bad? Not at all. But I do not think anyone needs to be forced into an arranged marriage. I feel like if it's your choice, you can do whatever you want. You can choose to be in an arranged marriage, you can choose to have a love marriage, you can choose to never get married. I feel like the choice is what's important. I don't think arranged marriage is bad. I think forcing people to have an arranged marriage is bad. Like, just don't force anyone into doing anything. That being said, do I want an arranged marriage? No, I don't want to experience an arranged marriage. I want to experience falling in love, and that too, falling in love as if it's like straight out of a romance movie. You know, high expectations, maybe, but I just want to be swept off my feet, quite literally. I want to meet the perfect woman and be like, oh my god, wow, and have her feel the same way about me, and we're just so in love that marriage just feels like the natural next step, you know? And I want to get married with the person I love, and I want to have like a big cheesy wedding where we literally just celebrate our love and people just think, oh, it's so wholesome, you know? Like I want that. That is what I want. Arranged marriage, not so much. And I feel like these experiences that I want don't really happen in an arranged marriage. An arranged marriage is literally, hello, how are you? Yeah, we're okay to marry each other. Cool, now we're getting married. I don't know. And that's really a big reason why I don't want to experience an arranged marriage. I just want to fall in love. I feel like the only way I would ever consider an arranged marriage is if it was an absolute last resort. And I mean that I'm like 40-ish, I don't know, maybe even older, completely alone. Maybe my past relationships have just been all shit, and I'm like, I don't believe there's anyone out there for me, and I'm struggling, and how do I... Obviously, I never want to be forever alone. I don't want to be forever alone. Obviously, I want to have a companion. I want to have like a life partner. I want to go through old age with someone. I don't want to go through old age by myself. So I know I don't want to be alone. So I was like, I've already spoken to my mom about this. I'm like, look, if I'm going on like 40 and I'm still alone, can you like try to hook me up with someone? And she is cool with it. She's like, sure, I can find people. And I was like, okay, cool, because I know that I trust her 1000%. So if she was to pick out a partner for me, I know that she would be good. You know, I know that woman, whoever my mum picks out for me, would be the right one for me. But this is like the absolute last resort. Absolute last resort. If I'm literally like 40, 45, struggling to find anyone and just being alone constantly, I don't want that. And that is where I think arranged marriage would come into the picture for me, which I don't want it to. I don't want that situation to ever happen. So that's why I don't want an arranged marriage, because I don't want that situation to ever be a reality. So yeah, and obviously I would only ever agree to an arranged marriage if it was gay. I feel like that's a bit of a duh moment, like an obvious moment, but I thought I would just put that there as well. That being said, even though I don't want an arranged marriage, I do have to admit that arranged marriages do have some benefits for the right person, obviously. And I think one of the big benefits is it provides peace of mind. And I think that is why I'm putting it as a backup plan. Because it is providing peace of mind. Let's just say you can do whatever you want in life, and you know that if you want to get married, you can just call up your parents and be like, yeah, I think I'm ready to get married, and they can find someone for you. That is peace of mind. You know, that is an option, and you can go that way if you want. I think that peace of mind is so helpful for some people. I also, with shows like Married at First Sight, it highlights a part of arranged marriages that I don't necessarily think happens in Indian marriages. So in MAFS, it showcases hugely the honeymoon phase wearing off. So a lot of times the couples will meet on their wedding day and they'll be like, oh my god, they're so attractive and she's so hot and he's so hot. All that happens, and when they're in right after the wedding, they can have a little honeymoon time, and that's usually when the couple is like, wow, I really am so happy with this person in front of me, and I'm so happy this happened, and I'm so happy I went on this experience. However, as soon as that honeymoon is over and it comes to actually meeting the family, shit hits the fan, quite literally. And I feel like that is avoided with arranged marriages because your family has already met your future husband or wife's family. They've already met their family. So you don't have to worry about not getting along with, not liking, not gelling with your in-laws because you've already met them. And if you don't like them, then you have the option to say no. You can tell your parents, I'm not liking them. I don't want to go here. And then your parents are like, okay, we're not going to say yes to this family. We're going to look for someone else, you know, which doesn't necessarily happen in maths, which I think is a good side to arranged marriages. My family meets your family. We decide if we like each other and we move forward. And that like each other literally means if I like you, if I like your family, if I like your whole, you know, vibe. It could mean anything. But having that before you say yes to someone, I think is very, very helpful. Also with Indian arranged marriages, the families have intense background checks. Like you can find anything you want to find out about a certain family if you're planning to get married into them. I feel like that can help a lot of discomfort for a lot of girls who are going into arranged marriage. You can find out if the family you're going into is legit. You can find out how they treat their women in the house, you know, whether they will expect you to stay home or whether they're okay with you having a job. And you can find these things out before you say yes to going into the marriage. But the one thing I'm not too keen on when it comes to this side is the whole status thing. A lot of times when arranged marriages happen, it's a status thing. Like, oh, I'm from this caste and I can only marry people from this caste. Or I am of this status in society, I can only marry people of the same status in society. And I find that to be a little bit old-fashioned. First of all, I don't believe in the caste system. I think that's pointless and can get tossed out the window. Status, I don't think it's a make or break thing, you know? Like, you can work around status, and I feel like that's a little bit old-fashioned. But yeah, now when we come to like a huge negative of arranged marriages, I feel like is this whole idea that divorce is a taboo subject in India. So basically when couples get an arranged marriage, divorce is not common. So a lot of times girls are just stuck in unhealthy relationships because they don't want to tell their family or their in-laws that they want to get divorced, because it is such a taboo and it is regarded as something that is like, divorce? Why? And I think that's unnecessary. You know, I don't like that aspect of, well, India in general. I also don't like that as soon as a girl gets married through arranged marriage, she somehow loses ties with her family completely. And a lot of times her family doesn't support her, because the idea is that you move out of your family home into your in-laws, and then your in-laws become like your family. And a lot of times your in-laws can stop you from meeting your family and can tell you that, you know, she always goes over to her family's house and it's ridiculous and she doesn't care about our family as much as she cares about her family. And I think that's all just bullshit. Like, no one can replace your family, right? And the comforts associated with family. So I don't like that it's expected for girls to completely detach from their family. A lot of times with arranged marriage, it's the idea that women will stay at home and cook and clean and in overall terms just have no independence. A few days ago I watched a documentary on Netflix called A Suitable Girl. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It was very interesting, but it was just about arranged marriages, these girls trying to get married, essentially. And I was watching it and I was shocked at how much these girls regarded marriage and how much they thought they needed marriage in their life. One of these girls had been rejected 4 years. For 4 years she had been looking for a guy, and she just kept getting rejected by every single guy, that as soon as she found a guy that she liked and he accepted her, she straight away said, yeah, okay, I want to get married to him, you know? Or another one of the stories was one of the girls was so highly educated and so, you know, she wanted to do stuff with her life, and she married this guy because he said that, yeah, after marriage you can work in my family's business. So she was like, oh, I'm still gonna work after marriage, and she liked that. So when she got married, she came in, and then her husband's dad got sick. You know, the mother-in-law was like, you have to stay at home to look after your father-in-law. And she was like, oh, okay. So she would stay home, cook and clean, look after the father-in-law. And even once the father-in-law got better, she never started working. She has still, and the documentary was made, I think, in 2017. She still doesn't work. And I was like, that's ridiculous. She came into the house thinking she'd be allowed to work. And now she's literally just a housewife, something she didn't want to be. I don't know. The idea was just crazy. And the other thing that really, I guess, pissed me off was how meticulously these girls are judged on things like appearance, height, weight, things that I don't really think is a make or break thing for marriage. You know, like someone's skin color is not a big deal. If you like the person and you think they are a suitable life partner, their skin color should not be altering that view. It made me realize how colorist India really is. India puts fair-skinned Indians on like a pedestal, especially girls who are fair-skinned. Pedestal. It's like, oh, she's the pinnacle of beauty and that's what she wants. And I can say it from experience, being fair-skinned as an Indian. I get so many comments and compliments from people being like, oh, she's so pretty, ti gori hai, ti pretty hai, ti sundar sundar, si pink cheeks, pretty. I get that a lot, but it pisses me off when I'm with friends who are maybe darker than me. They don't get any compliments on them, you know, they don't get told they're pretty, they don't get told anything, and it pisses me off. And I'm like, well, what the hell? It just constantly reminds me that India is such a colorist society and skin color is such a big deal over there when it shouldn't be. I also don't think you should get declined or rejected because of the color of your skin. I don't like that idea at all. That being said, because these girls in the documentary, they wanted to get married so badly, they thought they couldn't move on in life unless they had gotten married. I don't believe in that mindset either. I don't think marriage is necessary at all. I personally want to get married. I don't want children, however. Don't ask me about that. I've literally made a whole video about it, but for a lot of people, they might not want marriage, and that's totally fine. You don't need to have marriage to progress with your life. Even if you never want to get married, you don't have to get married. And I feel like that option should be available for more people. Don't get married if you don't want to. I also think that if you are agreeing to go through with an arranged marriage, you should be the one to have the final say so. I don't think parents should be the ones to make the final choice. They can give you opinions, they can tell you, yeah, we like him, or no, we don't like him for such and such reasons. You can take their opinions into account. But if you, at the end of the day, like the guy and you think he is a suitable partner for you, then you should have the final say. I don't like hearing stories or reading stories about, oh, mummy papa ko pasand aa gaya to maine haan bol diya. No, you should only say yes if you genuinely want to say yes. And your say-so should be the final say-so, not your parents. You're the one that has to live with them, and you're the one who's married to them, not your parents. So, now obviously being part of the LGBT community, I was thinking that, like, what do people who are in the LGBT community do if they want to go down the path of arranged marriages? And you might be thinking, why would they want to go down the path of arranged marriages? Aromantics exist, and maybe some aromantics don't want to fall in love, but they might still want companionship and also benefits of marriage, because marriage has benefits, you know? So maybe they want to do that, and they just want to be in like a best friend type marriage situation. I cannot think of the word, but what if they just want to have a simple platonic relationship with the marriage label? They should be able to do that. What if there are gay and lesbian people out there who are struggling to find the right person? They should be able to find their right person too, right? Like, I think that there should be an arranged marriage app or website that connects people from the LGBT community who want arranged marriage to other people from the LGBT community who also want an arranged marriage. And it can include people of all races. It's not limited to just South Asians, but I definitely think there's an app like that should exist. I feel like there's a market for it. I feel like people would want to jump on that bandwagon. And just because it's not a commonly known thing right now doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I definitely think there are some people who are maybe part of the LGBT community who have considered and might even want to have an arranged marriage, but I don't know if there are any websites or apps that provide that service. And I think there should be, because why not? I mean, asexuals exist, aromantics exist, these people exist, and some people might just want to get an arranged marriage through a platonic thing. So other aromantics can meet other aromantics and have like a platonic live-in relationship without romance. And then other asexuals could meet other asexuals and be, you know, living a married life without the necessity of having sex. And I think that would be amazing. Having people meet other like-minded folks in the LGBT community who share similar views and opinions would be game-changing, and I think someone needs to hop on that if it's not already a thing. Like, think of Shadi.com, but make it LGBT friendly. I don't know, I thought it was a brilliant idea. That way, even when I'm like 55 and I'm like alone, God forbid if that ever happens, but then I could just hop on that app, you know? But yeah, I think there's definitely a market of people out there. There has to be. There are way too many people on this earth for that kind of app to not perform. If I forget anything, or if there are any topics which I'm like, oh shit, I didn't mention that, I'll probably just talk about it in the description box below. Also, I know I was wearing glasses and there was this ring light in front of me this whole time, and I know it must have been a bit distracting, but my right eye is like really red. I don't know if it's still red, but it was red because my makeup wasn't going to plan. I had a really nice makeup look planned for this video, but it wasn't working out, and constantly removing mascara and constantly removing eyeliner just made my eyes so red that I was like, stuff it, I'm gonna do a simpler makeup, stick my glasses on, and yeah, I tried taking my glasses off to see what that would look like, but my eyes just looked really red, so I left them on. Yeah, so if that ring light around the glasses was a bit distracting, then I am sorry. That is it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, I will have all my social media linked in the description box below. I've been considering wanting to start a TikTok. Like, I have an account, but I haven't posted anything there. So if you'd like me to start posting on TikTok, I'll link my TikTok account in the description as well. Follow me on that as well. Maybe that will motivate me to be like, yeah, I'll make some TikTok videos. But for right now, TikTok scares the shit out of me. But yeah, I'll link that in the description too if you want to follow me. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye!